To serve great food is to create memories for your customers.
But it takes more than luck.
It takes consistency, creativity, and the drive to see things through.
And every day, the stakes are high, which means it's time to stand up
from your computer and start getting real. To own your kitchen is to own your bottom line.
This is the real world. And now...
This is the real world. And now...
This is the real world.
And now is the time to foodify your business.
Welcome back to the F Your Business podcast.
Yeah, we got some hot food cooking today.
Yeah, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch it up a little bit. I think we ran through a lot of fresh roasts frozen. We're happy to do more. If anyone wants to send in any more suggestions, we'll run back that. No problem. We're happy to do it. But we went through a lot. So we're going to make a little switch here. And for the next few weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, I would say at least, we're going to do items that you could use as an appetizer and an entree, and in some cases even during lunch. So we just want to give you multiple ways, if you bring a product in, how to use it. So that's what we want to work on now. We got a couple weeks of this to get through. Like I said, probably 4 to 6 weeks of this at least. Today's one of my favorite. I love to eat this. It's the time of year for it. We're going to make a nice braciole. I'm going to teach you how to do it, how to add it to your menu as an appetizer, and how to add it to your menu as an entree. So we got our shopping list somewhere here.
Somewhere.
It's cold. I got a lot of pockets.
A lot of pockets now.
So we got it here. So we'll see you inside. Make sure we got everything here. All right. There's a lot of components to this braciole, right? I got the breadcrumbs. I got the parsley. I got the Parmesan. I got the basil, I got the black pepper, olive oil, garlic. I got the wine that we need. I got the crushed tomatoes. I got the pepper flakes. I got the braciole. Most importantly, I got the braciole cut nice and thin, ready to go. Only thing left to do is go roll these babies up and braise them. All right. We'll see you in the kitchen. All right, welcome back. Here we are. We're in the kitchen. What are you doing over there?
I'm ready to go.
It's for the braciole. It's not a side thing here.
I just saw the meats in here. It looked really good. I was just
well, if we run a slice short, that braciole is gonna be yours. All right, you get braciole with no prosciutto in there. So here we are. We're back in the kitchen. We're all ready. We got everything ready here. We got our fresh breadcrumbs here. We're gonna put some basil in there. Get the basil in. Don't leave any in that bowl. The bowl don't need it. You got to get it in with the mixture. There's a fresh chopped parsley, Italian parsley. There is no other kind. Got a Parmesan Reggiano. That's going in.
A lot of cheese in there. All right.
Well, you got to have cheese. All right, we've got our salt and pepper. Watch with the salt because the cheese is really salty.
Okay.
All right, so you want to be careful with that. All right. Now you can go with a little extra virgin olive oil. You want the consistency of this to be like the beach, like sand. You don't want it packed, okay, but you want it a little sandy. We'll get the mix and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All these fresh herbs in there, the cheese, the olive oil is going to make for a great combination with the braciole and the beef. It just mixed real nice.
I feel like as usual, you keep it nice and simple.
That's it.
Limited ingredients, but boom, the color vibrant. Food. Fresh, looks great.
All right, I'm going to put a little bit more in there. You can see it's starting to clump up a little bit together.
Okay.
I want a little more, though. Got to get a new bottle. And then we were going to use it, so we picked up an extra one. More in here. You can already smell it. Just these ingredients.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now is this on the normal crisp menu at home too, or what?
Oh yeah, I make this for holidays. I'll make this. It's a fall wintertime kind of thing. It's not something I normally do in summer. Normally, I mean, if I had the craving, I would.
Right.
But because you're cooking it on top of the stove for 2 to 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Right, but you see how that is now? That consistency, it's a little sandy, like.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what we want. We want it to look just like that. Okay. So now we have our braciole. Went to the butcher. They cut it thin. They pounded it out a little bit. We also got some fresh thin sliced prosciutto from them.
Gotta go thin slice.
Gotta be. You definitely don't want it thick. And don't worry about it being all neat and proper. Just get it on there. Especially prosciutto, when you slice it thin, it gives you a problem. Then you just take some of this mixture. Now you don't want to overdo it. It's not stuffed.
Okay.
This is rolled. Okay? So you just want it.
So it looks like you'll leave it maybe a couple inches on.
That's all. Not much.
Side.
That's it. You see that?
Half
That's
inch
it.
around the border, around the.
Yeah, you save that for rolling.
Right. Okay.
So there you go. Right? That's what you have. That's it. All right? They say you don't want to overstuff it because it's not a stuffed piece of meat. It's a braciole, which means rolled meat or chops.
Meat, all right.
Or chops. It depends on the dialect. But so then you bring this in, and now you want to bring these over like this.
Okay.
Okay? Bring these like this. You got to get everything working together to do this.
This might be the trickiest
Bring
part of the
these
whole
over.
thing is getting it right.
This could be, right? So then you just start rolling it.
Got it. So once you get
Pick
it up
this
a little
up.
bit.
And you keep using your fingers to keep bringing this in. This is going to hold everything in. We don't want it coming out, right? So we keep holding it in. Hold it in, right? Tuck these sides up. See that? Tuck the sides up. Tuck the sides up.
You have a certain kind of meat you like to use.
Look at that.
Oh, looks perfect.
I give it a little press here. So you go a lot of different ways with it. To keep it simple so everyone understands what I'm talking about, this, I like the London broil, cut really thin.
Okay.
And then pound it out a little bit. You go off the rump roast, you take it from there. It doesn't, an inexpensive piece of meat. Because we're going to braise it. Anytime you're braising anything, you don't need an expensive piece of meat. Right? I actually go to one restaurant and they do it with filet mignon. And they told me, and I wasn't impressed. So it tastes no different.
When it was the end of the day, you still.
It was the same. It was good. It was the same braciole.
Right.
There was no different. It wasn't like, wow, it's full. No. Okay, you spent a lot of money on it for no reason.
You charge a lot more for it, probably.
Yeah, they did charge a lot, so I won't get it to you again. But it was good. Braciole's never going to be big.
Right.
So now we take a toothpick. One toothpick, you go down and then up. That's all you need to do. That's it. That's all you need to do. There you go. This is done. This is done.
Nice. We got a few to roll now.
Got a few to roll. So, we're going to roll through it. You guys are welcome to stay, watch, but I'm going to try to, not through as quick as I can. This way we can get to the next part. Unless Scott's got something to talk about, I don't know. Scott's always got something to talk about. What you got? You got any history on this, or you don't know yet?
No, I saw that. It goes back deep. I mean, you're showing some even like ancient Greece, but really Italian is where they, you know what I mean, is where it came over. And they really said for the braciole that we're used to, especially the United States, it came over with the Italian immigrants, and that's how it kind of came.
That's how it came here. Right.
The biggest thing you said, I guess from when they were in Italy, meat was a lot more expensive. So a lot of things that they were making for meals were the mixtures, were these other parts of it, and they were really reserving a meat dish for like a holiday or special occasion.
Sure. And we do a lot of that here too.
Right. But when the Italian immigrants came to the United States, the meat wasn't as expensive. It wasn't as hard to get. So they started using it in more day-to-day meals.
Gotcha.
And that's where this sort of kind of came from, is they're already using this sort of mixture. It can be different items. Chris will go into some details of what could be in there. But they started adding this thin meat to it that they could use more on a, I don't say daily basis, but not having to wait for a holiday. Or having to wait for a special occasion. It became more of their everyday.
Well, this is more of a Sunday dinner. Easily. People make this on Sundays.
Okay.
But we still have it on holidays a lot. Like, for Christmas, this was our meal. This and lasagna.
And I know you said before there's other stuff that you could stuff it with, or stuff that you have used to stuff it with.
So one of the big things people like to stuff it with is spinach. They'll put some cheese in there, but the same cheese we used. But they go with the spinach. I'll eat it. I'm not going to turn it away.
Right.
but I prefer this. I don't like
Okay.
it with the spinach as much.
Do you ever see any like fruit or like raisins or anything like that? Or
Yeah, so
okay.
It depends what region you're from. You could put diced hard-boiled egg chopped up.
Oh.
Pretty much the same thing we're doing with the hard-boiled egg. You go with raisins, you go with the pine nuts.
Okay.
Right? It could be all that. Depends on your region.
Got it.
My region, this is it. You know, this is what I grew up with. Just like this. Another way too, other than this, was my mother would do it with the same meat, where she would use cracked black pepper, chopped garlic, salt, pepper, or the cracked black pepper,
right.
and then the Parmesan cheese in there.
Okay.
And that's it. Roll it. Same way we're doing it. So I had it that way and this way. That's the two ways I ate it.
And typically, is there always a prosciutto or another meat in it? Or
No.
is there sometimes? Okay.
I'll make it without it sometimes.
Okay.
Just like this without the prosciutto.
Got it.
You don't need to have it, but I do like to add it. Flavor it gives it. A lot of people do. There's some people that, the prosciutto too salty for them. Right. So they don't like it. But for me, it can't be salty enough. But you'll see when you eat this, it's not salty at all. It's a pretty big piece of meat.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. As you're putting in your restaurant, that's where you're going to figure out what you're going to put in it. Try to use ingredients you already have. You don't need to bring in one other ingredient you don't have. Or again, keeping it the option that maybe you have it with or without prosciutto. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't want to eliminate a whole. If someone doesn't eat, prosciutto, or like I said, people just don't like it. Well, you have a couple options on that if it's in or not.
Well, if you're, if you don't carry prosciutto and you don't want to bring it in,
right?
Don't put it in there. Believe me, it's not the end of the world. It's not. If you're carrying another Italian meat and you want to try it with that in there, go ahead. I'll do hot super salad.
Okay.
I've done it with that. I've done it with a couple of different ones. I like to experiment, and I know that any meat I put in it, it's not going to be bit. Right? Can't be bit. Right? This, and again, you don't go too heavy with this. Just right down the middle.
Yeah, I'm watching
just
very
enough.
Light layer.
And you'll see why, like when we cut it open, you'll see the ring in there of the bread mixture. You don't want to go more heavy than that. That's it. And I don't use chopped garlic in this. A lot of people do. That's kind of optional in this recipe. Okay. But you can. I just don't think it needs it. Right. Again, we talk about flavors battling. That's such a strong flavor. It's kind of going to steal everything from these great herbs we put in. Right. I
can see that. It doesn't.
But
flavor all these other things, you don't really need
if you want it, put it in. You could do a little red pepper flake in here too. I'm not going to put it in here, but I will put it in the gravy that we make. Okay. But a lot of people will put it directly in this. So again, this is what's important though. Tuck this in, right? This way it all don't come out. Because if not, when you cook it, it's just going to be all in your gravy. Right. I don't want that.
The foundation of our team is a shared objective. As specialists in the hospitality industry, we understand the importance of timely and accurate reporting for our clients, which has been made even more crucial throughout the post-pandemic industry recovery.
We truly believe our mission is to give back to business owners control of their finances so that they can make better decisions daily.
The way that we are consistently showing value to our clients is by speaking with them on a weekly basis. Not only do they have the relationship with their lead accountant, but they have the opportunity to meet with industry experts.
The truth is that things will never be like they were before 2020. But we believe that our weekly accountability model will help you adapt to the new reality and grow and evolve into an even better business in the years to come.
All right, Scott. So here we go.
You were hard at work over there, rolling your arms all right.
Listen, this is child's play. This is nothing. I mean, it's really, you do this in a restaurant, in an hour, you're good. You got some real profitable food on your menu. We're good to go. All right, so what we need to do now, we got them all rolled. They're good. Got the toothpick in them. We're going to hold together while we sear them off. So we want to sear them off now because when you sear them, it holds in all the juices now when it braises. So it stays juicy, it stays good, and we're not going to get like a dry piece of meat, right? Because you see, there's not a lot of fatness.
No.
Right? So you don't want a dry piece of meat. So here we go. We're going to start with this. Get this in the oil. Don't overcrowd the pans. Man, I got 4 these all in there, but I'm not going to.
Right.
I'm gonna go right there now. I'm just gonna let these cook. We're gonna let them go, let them brown on all sides.
About how long does this process take?
I'm gonna say it depends how hot you get your pan.
Okay.
But if you get it hot where we have it, I'm gonna say 2 to 3 minutes aside.
Got it.
You know? And you gotta have a good pan to do it. Right? A pan that can take the heat. This pan is what I use all the time for it. This is Braciole. This is my brother's old pot.
Right. Okay.
Well, this is my brazen pot. I braise a lot in this.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, hard work's done, right? Once you roll it, once you brown it, the rest is time.
Well, after you roll it, you brown it, then we're going to get the gravy going. We net the leaf back in the gravy.
Okay.
Put the lid on it, let it simmer up here for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours tops. No more than 2.5. And that's it.
You're doing other stuff at that point. That's not
That's it.
watching
You
it.
really don't have to stir it.
Right.
Every now and then you might just want to make sure that the braciole's covered, get
Sure.
throw a little gravy up on it. But you don't want to turn them like that.
Okay.
Just want to let it cook. That's what we're looking for. Boom, see that stuff?
I see it. My stomach sees it. You know. I'm not sure if I can wait the 2.5 hours to eat them, but we're gonna get,
You'll be all right.
All right.
Because you're going to smell it and you're going to know it's worth the wait.
Fair enough.
So yeah.
We're Braciole there still. We use all that up.
No, you ate it all. And if we used it all, you ate it all. Whatever was left was gone. But again, this is how simple this is. This is not a hard process. People that don't know, they get nervous.
Right. Sure, it looks intimidating,
Yeah,
right?
sure. If you hear make a braciole, but no, you make a braciole. Right? Because you've never done it, but he's telling you. That's like, the mole sauce. Mexican mole sauce. Scared to death to make it, so I did. Because it's, to them it's so pristine. It's one of their best fishes. I was like, But I worked with a guy, we worked on it, we made it, he taught me how to do it, and now I can make it as good as he can.
But I think that's almost more of a reason to get it on the menu.
Right.
Right, because there's plenty of people that aren't gonna be able to have the time to
People don't want to do
this
it
at home.
People
Right?
don't
I
want to
can
do
go
it
cook my own steak at home.
Right.
I can go do this at home or that at home. This would be a little more intensive. Not that you couldn't do it at home, but your customers are probably like, wow, there's something different.
They might not know how to do it.
They might not, probably don't know how to do it. Not might, right? Probably don't. So I think as you guys, as we're looking at adding any items to the menu, kind of thinking that a little bit is, that's why it adds value to your menu. It's why it's going to create repeat guests for your restaurant. Because it's something they can't just get anywhere else. But you're not going to see this on a ton of menus.
No. That you're not.
There's certain
tell you,
items.
at a, experience, you don't see this all over the place.
With certain items, you can see every menu. Right? There's Italian. I love a good chicken parm, but you see that on every Italian restaurant, every not-Italian restaurant now, every.
You go to Greek, you go to Asian cuisine. I mean, anything you go to, there's a chicken parm.
There's always examples I like it, but that's not a problem. But I can go to, your chain restaurant now and have chicken parm on it.
Right.
And I'm not even talking about just Olive Garden. Like, all of them have it.
They all have it.
And that's an example of where something like this is going to be somewhat specific to your restaurant.
Right.
I'm not saying you're the only one doing it, but I think it adds something that other people aren't doing.
Well, you'll be one of the few. Let me put it that.
Right.
You have to go to a really authentic Italian to get
Sure.
You're not walking in Olive Garden and getting a braciole, right? And that's not really Italian. They call it, but it's not.
Right.
But you're not walking in getting a braciole. Most Italian restaurants you go to, you're not. Right? They're very safe. You want to go to a good authentic Italian restaurant, this is either always on the menu or it's one of their very frequent specials.
Right.
You know?
You really want to insert a menu innovation or add it's how we would think is, we want items on your menu that separate you, that bring your customers, your guests back. I think that's just looking out for the box a little bit. Nothing on here was reinventing the wheel. It's not like we're adding some crazy sort of item that you would normally carry. We're just using some items that are a little different than you're using right now.
Right. Exactly. We'll let this cook off. And when it's done, we take everything out and we get the gravy going.
Okay.
All right, Scott, here we go now. Right? We're done, right? We got it all
It smells great already.
around, all ready to go. Now we're on to the last and final step.
Okay.
Okay? Get our heat going. We're going to deglaze the pan with some red wine.
All right.
All right? Get the red wine in there.
Seeing red wine will probably go very nicely when we're trying the steak later.
Most likely will.
Right?
Most likely will. So get that in there, right? Just get it moving around a little bit. You're going to get all the little bits off the bottom.
Okay.
Let that cook down some. There you go. In my opinion, you can't put too much wine.
All right.
All right. So this is in here, right? You see it's starting to boil up, starting to bubble up
Yeah.
some. It's good. We got everything off the bottom. Now this is simple. I use 2 cans. The recipe, you know, sometimes says 1. I go 2 because I like to have the extra gravy because I use it on the macaronis when I'm selling entrees.
Got it. Okay.
Right? So now I just add a little bit more wine to both of these because we leave no tomatoes behind.
That's right.
All right? No tomatoes behind. Get a flag. No tomatoes behind, left behind.
No tomatoes left behind.
All right? All right. So that's it. Right? Let's start getting it stirred up.
Okay.
Get it all done. This is not thick. This is not a thick gravy, so we don't worry about it like burning. We just want to get it all incorporated. Right? Wine is needed. Green, nice, like purple, like maroon, nice maroon, purple, maroon. Big, great color. As it cooks down, it gets a little darker, a little deeper.
And you're using on this, what kind of wine?
I went with a Cabernet.
Okay.
Cabernet Merlot, I would say, are the ones you want to go with.
Okay.
One of those. I'll mix it up. I don't always use Cabernet. I'll go Merlot
Got it.
sometimes.
So I need deep into that red.
Right. All right. So now we got this all incorporated. Okay. All incorporated is good. Now, got a fresh basil.
Okay.
Parsley's optional. You want to use it, don't use it. Garlic's not. Garlic you got to have in there.
All right.
Right? Just whole cloves and crush them.
Got it.
Okay? And again, the parsley, I like it in there. You don't have to use it. But this has to be in there. And you put the whole stems in.
Oh, wow. All
Okay?
right.
You'll pull the stems out later. But this really makes just such a good gravy.
What's the parsley going to do to that?
Gives a little parsley flavor.
Just a little flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another fresh herb. Get this in there. Just another fresh herb I like to use. I know a lot of people, for some reason, because it's in the Braciole, prefer it not to be in here.
Got it.
Which I don't understand.
Okay.
Because the basil's in there too.
Right. All right.
All right, so we get that all in there. Going to salt and pepper this a little bit. Salt and pepper. Because this base is what you're going to, for an entree, it's what you're going to use.
Got it.
You know, do some macaroni. Like a lot of, for the entree, which what I see a lot is ravioli, like 4 ravioli with it,
Okay.
which is nice. I like it like that. And then some crushed red pepper flakes going to give it a good body.
Yeah.
Not
You
a
don't
lot.
put many in. I was going to say, that's
No.
the amount of sauce that's making is not that much.
It's not going to make it hot, but it's going to give it a bold flavor.
Got it.
I get these all mixed up, all right? I'm going to try to get this up to a little bit of a simmer here. All right, now we're going to start incorporating the Braciole back into it. Okay? And all you do is just set it in. It's hard, right?
Maybe not for a chef like you, right? But I think you're showing how easy it can be for anybody to do this.
It's easy. I'm showing how easy.
Yeah.
All right, and then here, all this juice, don't leave it out. Get it in there. It's all part of it. It's all part of it. Now, the job is we bring it up to a boil, and then we put it to a simmer. I like to cover it all. As it cooks, this releases more juice, the Braciole, and it will cover this. But you could check it periodically and make sure that it's braised and it's covered. Okay. But like I said, don't flip them. Don't try to turn them. Don't try to move them too much because they're braising, and that means they're getting soft.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't want to move them around too much. Just like that. That's it.
Heavy lifting's done, is what you're saying.
It's done. Here's what we do now. This is the last heavy lifting you're going to do with this. That's it. I'm going to get it up to a boil. Once we get it to a boil, we're going to turn it down to a low simmer. And then we're going to let it go for, I would say, anywhere from 1 hour and 45 minutes to two and a half hours, but no more than 2.5 hours.
Got it.
Okay? Usually right around that 2 hour mark, we're good.
Okay.
Okay?
You should check it maybe half hour just to see.
Just take a look.
Okay.
I usually, like every half hour, I'll take a peek at
Got
it.
it. All right.
There we go. So we got it up to a boil already. It didn't take long. I was going to turn this down. And get a nice simmer. Now you could put it in the oven.
Okay.
I would say 325 for 2.5 hours.
Okay.
But I like it up here.
All right.
So we're going to leave it up here.
We're gonna
If I was home and I had a lot of stuff going on,
Got
like
it.
cooking for a holiday, I might go into the oven with it
Okay.
to give me room. But since we're not, we're good. It's going to stay there.
Perfect.
Perfect. All right. Well, nothing to do now, but wait.
We'll see you for lunch in a couple hours.
6. See you in about an hour and 45 to 2.5 hours. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, so here we are. We're back. 2 hours later.
Oh my God! I've been waiting the whole time for
It
this.
smells great
Starving.
in here. It smells amazing. The nut smells better than when you braise meat. I'll tell you, Braciole is out of this world. So it's all ready here. It's all done. We let it rest for about 20 minutes. So there you go. You got a good look at it. And there you go. We're going to plate it up.
So we said it could be an appetizer. It's gonna be an entree for you, right? It's gonna be.
However you want to do it, you should do both, right? Then we're going to take some of this right over top. Right over top, like that.
Look at that.
All right. Let's get a towel here. Presentation of everything. Let's get that cleaned up. So on the plate, we're going to go with a little cheese.
It looks like 2 monster meatballs when you put them in like that, right?
Well,
I know
it does look like a meatball there, yeah. And then we just get a little parsley in there or basil, whatever you want to go with. And there you go. You're serving that to your guest. I'm telling you, they're going to love it. That could be an appetizer.
Right. A huge appetizer. I mean,
Right. You could go 1 for an appetizer. It's up to you however you want to do it. But I would go entree 2, and then a lot of people will do like 4 ravioli with it.
Okay.
What I've seen the most now is a mushroom ravioli with
Oh,
it.
sounds good.
Is what I've seen the most of, right? It's a kind of new that everyone's doing. But you could go with ziti, you can go with linguine, you can go with whatever you want. You could do a whole, better linguine with this right on top.
Right.
Whatever you do, you're not going to be wrong.
It's one of those ones we talked about before, like, especially from a cost standpoint, or like, it's a win because it doesn't matter what else you do. That appetizer, depending on what restaurant you have, I mean, that's $12 up to $16, right? Easily. I mean, that's
Look. This looks like it's such a fine dining dish.
right.
That you could do anywhere.
Entree, you're adding some ravioli, whatever. Now you're talking about anywhere from $18 to $26,
Depending on what kind of restaurant you
what
have.
your price point is, right?
Right.
I don't know if
If you're a pizzeria, you want to do this your Friday night special,
yeah,
right? I mean, you get $18-20 easily.
right, yeah,
right?
and
Right.
no one's
Nobody's
blinking
blinking.
at that. It's
No one's
fine.
blinking. If you're a little more of a restaurant sit down eat
Yeah,
type,
fine dining even.
you're getting
whatever.
$24-$28 easy. I've seen this into the 30s, 32, 33, 34.
Like I said, at give or take $2.50, $3 all in for
Right.
the appetizer, and again,
Yeah.
even at
Well, right here, you got about $3 on the plate.
right, so even at $9 appetizer, which would be low. I mean, right?
If anybody sells this for $9, I'm coming to look for you.
Well,
Alright.
he's gonna go eat there for $9. He'll be already going. But
This, I think, like you said, 12 to 15 on this,
very
at a minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I'm
it's
gonna
just
say
a
9
thought.
would get you to the price,
Well, right.
which means everything else
But,
is great.
but then you're not using it as the buffer for other items that are,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you got to have because people come in for it, but you know your food cost isn't great on it.
Right.
So, this helps you erase some of that. Right.
100%.
But you're right. You could sell it for $9.
Again, I'm gonna say the
don't do
starting
it.
point is you
Right.
can't go below that.
Don't
You
do
get
it.
your food cost at 9. Everything else is
I like a
higher,
little more
but
cheese. I like a little more cheese. I don't know. Well, Scott, why don't you grab yourself a little plate?
let's see. Let's get a
Grab
plate.
a plate
and
over
then-
there. Grab me one too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what you do. Just use your fork. You don't need a knife.
No knife for it. All right.
No. Oh, you ain't got a plate so everybody can see it? You want a
Look at
bowl?
little bowls over here. Let me see.
I see a plate to the right over there. I want everybody to see the inside of it.
I'll tell you what, here you go. We're ready.
All right, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'll take this one. You take this one.
Woo.
You know, I can get you a little bit of marinara, a little gravy on it so you have it.
All right.
Because you can't have too much.
No knife, right? Just going right in for it. Let's see.
There you go. Here's what I want to show the camera here. I want to show the camera the inside of it. You see what I said? You're going to see the bread in there. That's why you don't overstuff it. That is perfect how it rings around. You overstuff it, it's just not going to be right. Okay?
Really good.
This is just
Yeah.
how it's supposed to look. You don't need anything other than a fork to get to it. I'm telling you. This brings me back to my childhood every time.
It reminds me of that, like a braised, beef, like a short rib that you would get, but I like it because it has like a little more texture. Like the short rib's kind of mushy sometimes.
Right, yeah. Well,
It's-
because this is rolled, you
Right.
get layers.
yeah, and I like that part of it.
And then you're getting the bread filling.
Yeah, you get all the flavor of that.
And, right, extra layer of flavor.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. So, if you never had this before, right? This is your
I don't
first
think
time.
so. No.
Now, when you go out and somebody you see on the menu Braciole, you getting it?
I'm in. Oh, 100% get it.
Okay. I'm going to quiz you a little bit.
All right, what do we got?
What kind of beef is this? What was the cut?
We got, what do we get on like this one? This was, is it sirloin?
I didn't know you're paying attention.
I feel it was in there for a long time. And this was hours ago now that we went
2
shopping.
hours
for
ago.
it. Hours that we went shopping for it.
So we use the cut, the same cut that you get your London broil from. That's the cut we use. You can use any kind of roast, anything. It's usually not an expensive cut. It's
Okay.
inexpensive because you braise it so long, it breaks down. Now, we talked about in the beginning, not a lot of fat in there,
No.
but you would never know it.
Right.
It's full of flavor.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's unbelievable. It's one of my. I think if I was going to the chair, I want a nice
This
ossobuco.
episode took a turn for the worse really quick.
If I was going to the chair, I want an ossobuco with a side of Braciole,
Okay.
and I'm good. One's braised veal, one's braised beef. You can't go wrong.
That's where you're that's your
That's where I'm
logic.
going. That's where I'm going. That's it.
Dude, look.
I can't stop eating it. I know we're not supposed to eat on camera.
Probably one of my favorite ones that you made. I mean, I had to, you know where I'm going to go neck and neck. And you know what I'm going to say.
I
You
know.
know what I'm going to say.
I go.
I had to put this side by side to Nana's. The Nana's
Pork gravy. So you take it right there.
Oh man, I don't know. I'd have to, like I said, I'd have to eat them like one bite each.
Well, I don't think you go wrong with either one.
No, I'd have to really one bite each to see. It'd be tough to beat Nana's. That's still going to be the. But I would say this.
So
goes-
I would tell you this is a really close version of my Nana's.
Okay. So that's
Okay.
why I like it then, right?
Right, but changed a little by my mother,
All right.
and I kind of stood with it. Now my Nana would put the garlic in.
Okay.
I just don't think it needs it.
Yeah.
So the recipe that we're going to post, I'll have the garlic on. It's up to
Yeah.
you guys, you want to put it or not. I just don't think it needs it. Right? We got garlic. We got the garlic in the gravy, which comes through in the gravy. So I don't think you need it. But yeah, so it started out as my Nana's. My mother made that change. That was the only thing she took the garlic out, and I've been running with it ever since.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
It's definitely one of my favorite dishes. That's why my mother does it one other way, where there's no breading. Pretty much everything that you've seen,
Okay.
but no breading.
Got it.
She puts the parsley. She don't put the basil, and that's it. And you roll it. But
Still
you
with
do,
the prosciutto in the middle.
yeah.
Okay.
And the cracked black pepper, and you roll, and that's delicious too. And you can go with or without the prosciutto. Even with this, you go with or without it.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's
I mean,
not a big difference.
right. You get a little of that flavor, and I like it
Right.
within. I mean, I think if I had a choice, I'm going in. But I agree. I don't think you would lose a ton of it if you opted not because you think it would sell better with that. Because I think whenever you use an item like that, you're as a group, that it may eliminate someone from that.
You might. That's my really
But I
know what
really
is.
like it.
Right. It might be something like the prosciutto, and they really don't know what it is.
Right.
It throws them off. You don't need to put it in. You can. I like it with it. I like it without it. A lot of them that you see, like I said, are stuck with like spinach and cheese. I'll still order it. It's not
Okay.
my favorite though.
All right.
Like this is my favorite.
Well,
Yeah. And I'd love to take the gravy from there and put it with the macaroni, make one dish, have that as your dinner, and it's just, for me, it's it. I'm done. I'm good.
yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's a no-brainer to add. I mean, I really think it's something that we showed. Yeah, it took a little longer time, but not a lot of prep.
It's not a lot of prep.
Right.
It's got to cook on top of the stove. Like I said, you could cook in the oven at 325 for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I like it up there. One, the house just smells better. The house, the restaurant, everything.
Well, it's another one
Just
you
smells
could
better.
have as a special. You could have it in hot holding in that sauce.
Well, don't ever have
So-
being hot holding because you're going to overcook it. Right? It's already broken down.
Okay, so you're just
So
leaving
the
it.
last thing we want to do is put it in hot holding. Nah, listen, if we cooked it today, and how I used to do it, I would cook it. I would prep it in the afternoon.
Okay.
I would cook it around 2, 3 o'clock. So by 4 or 5 o'clock, it was done. And now, you let it sit out for a few hours.
So it could just be in the sauce.
And I
You're
just
good.
heat it up with the
Got it.
gravy. It's not sauce, it's gravy.
So, all right. So
Heat up in the gravy in the pan and send it out. Or if you want to, put a little gravy on top and in the oven, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
But that's how I used to do it. I used to do it in the pan on top, heat it up, out it goes.
I love it.
But if I had some left over today for tomorrow, which very rarely that happened,
Right.
except I knew what we sold every day of it, and I made that
Sure.
much. And if I sold that, I was happy to.
Right.
You know why? I know that person was a little, unhappy, but they got something else off the menu.
Right.
They liked it. I always talk to people that came in. We sold out, and I would go talk to them. Like, hey, I'm sorry, we're out. We're going to have it again tomorrow, and I'll make a couple recommendations.
Yeah.
And they were saying, my God, it was great. Now I got 2 things that come out. Now I don't know
Right.
what to get.
Now I gotta come 2 nights a week instead of
Right, now I'm getting you to come in more, right? Because you're starting to expand your horizons on the menu, which is really important.
Yeah.
So but if I was holding them cold, I normally would go in the oven at that point.
Okay.
And
Got
just let them go for 10, 15 minutes while I was doing something else.
Got it. All right. So it's
Right.
easy to execute online if you like.
Simple. So listen, take advantage of our 30-minute free call. We help you out with anything in a restaurant. It doesn't matter if it's food cost, labor, hiring, just management development. You want to get into that. You want to put one of your managers in that program. If you are a manager, you want to get into the program. We have those available. Just reach out, and we're happy to be part of it with you. That's it. All right, Scott. So that's it for us today.
Yep. I
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to put that back
I'll
down
see ya.
because I got a couple kids at home that if I don't go home with a couple of them, they're gonna be a little unhappy, and they're getting big now. I don't want to have to be fighting everybody. All right, well, thanks for joining the F Your Business podcast, and we'll see you next time.